Hello, friends. Today we're going to read the story called Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. It is written by Doreen Cronin. She is the author. The author writes the words. The author writes the words. All through the day today, the author writes the words. In this book, the cows are using the typewriter to write messages to the farmer. We're going to read to find out what happens in this story. When we are done, we are going to write about our reading using a beginning, middle, and end. So as we are reading, I want you to think about what happens in the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle of the story, and what happens at the end of the story. Click, clack, moo. Cows that type. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. At first, he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. It was bad enough the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Wow, so far the cows are typing away and they're asking for electric blankets, but Farmer Brown is saying no. Let's see what this note says. The next day he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed. No milk, no eggs. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Cows that type, hens on strike. Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. Furious. He is so mad. Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Doesn't sound like he's messing around. Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn doors and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. Look at how happy they all are. Nice and warm. The next morning, he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. click, clack, quack, click, clack, quack, clickety, clack, quack. Snip, snap, snout, our stories told out. Oh, that was a great story. As I go back and I think about that story, now I can write about what I was reading. I started this a little earlier. I put the title of my story on top. Click, clack, moo, cows that type. Just like over here. Then I did a little sketch, beginning, middle, and end. For my first sketch, I sketched the cows because in the beginning of the story, the cows were typing a message to the farmer. Click, clack, moo. And then in the middle of the story, I'm going to draw here Farmer Brown's straw hat. And he's kind of gruffy. I never actually saw his face in that whole book. Okay, I'm drawing a picture of Farmer Brown. And in the middle of the story, Farmer Brown said, "No electric blankets." So in the beginning, the cows typed a message to the farmer. In the middle of the story, Farmer Brown was not giving in. And at the end of the story, what did the animals end up getting? Yes, you're right. Electric blankets. So in the end of the story, the cows and hens got blankets. But what happened to the typewriter? Yes, Duck kept the typewriter. Oh my goodness. So take a look real quick, boys and girls. I drew a little bit of a sketch and then I wrote some words that matched the beginning of my story. I sketched the middle of my story and wrote what happened. Then I did the ending of my story and I wrote what happened at the end of the book. Today and every day, when you're writing about the books that you're reading, remember that you can use this method, beginning, middle, and end, to write about your reading. Have fun reading!